Most of us are taught to think about money the same way we think about physics or math, that it is a strict science governed by absolute rules and precise formulas. But in reality, money is guided by human emotion and psychology. Consider the story of a highly educated technology executive. In his 20s, he designed and patented a key component used in Wi-Fi routers. He was, by all accounts, a certified genius, but he had a deeply insecure relationship with his money. One day, he handed a colleague several $1,000s in cash to buy him a stack of gold coins. He and his friends then went down to the Pacific Ocean and proceeded to throw those coins into the sea, skipping them like rocks across the water just to show off. You can probably guess how long that kind of behavior lasts. Despite his massive intelligence and immense earning power, his reckless psychological relationship with money meant he eventually went completely broke. Now compare him to a man named Ronald Read. Ronald had no college degree, no formal financial background, and no high-level connections. He spent his entire life working as a janitor and a gas station attendant. Yet, when Ronald died, he left behind an estate worth millions of dollars. He didn't win the lottery. He simply saved what little he could, invested it, and waited patiently for decades. This kind of dynamic doesn't exist anywhere else. You will never hear a story about a humble janitor stepping into an operating room and outperforming a Harvard-trained surgeon. But in the world of investing, it happens. Financial success relies very little on how smart you are, and almost entirely on how you behave. Think about the last time you saw someone driving an incredibly expensive, flashy car. You probably assumed the driver was wealthy and worthy of admiration. This is a common mental trap known as the man-in-the-car paradox. The irony is, you aren't actually impressed by the driver at all. You are looking at the car and imagining how much respect you would get if you were the one behind the wheel. Using money to buy expensive things as a way to earn respect almost always backfires. If your goal is to gain genuine admiration from other people, kindness and humility will get you much further than a luxury vehicle ever will. This brings us to a crucial distinction. Being rich means you have a high current income, which allows you to buy expensive things today. But true wealth is invisible. Wealth is the money you choose not to spend. Building that wealth relies on a surprisingly simple equation. Your savings rate is the gap between your income and your ego. The more you can turn down your ego, the wider your wealth gap becomes. And because saving requires keeping that ego in check, you don't actually need a specific reason to save. You don't have to be saving for a house or a new car. Saving money simply to create a protective shield against an unpredictable future is entirely valid. To build invisible wealth for tomorrow, you have to put a strict lid on your desire to show off today. There are countless books detailing a million different ways to make a fortune, but keeping that fortune is a completely different story. Earning money demands putting yourself out there. It requires taking risks, being deeply optimistic, and pushing forward even against the odds. Holding on to that money requires the exact opposite mindset. It demands extreme frugality and a healthy dose of paranoia, a constant awareness that everything you've built could easily be taken away. We also have to acknowledge the sibling forces of luck and risk. No financial outcome is ever dictated entirely by your own individual effort. There are always outside variables at play. Ultimately, successful investing rarely requires making the absolute smartest decision at every single turn. It relies on avoiding fatal mistakes and ensuring you survive long enough for your money to grow. If the purpose of accumulating wealth isn't to buy flashy items and show off, then what is the actual point of all this saving? We find the answer by looking at history. Adjusted for inflation, the median American family income today is vastly higher than in the 1950s. Yet people today report record levels of daily stress and worry. This happens because we have traded our increased wealth for bigger, better possessions. But in the process, we have surrendered control over our own schedules. We work longer and harder to maintain those possessions. The greatest return on investment you can ever achieve with your money is the ability to wake up every morning and have total control over your own life. It is the freedom to do exactly what you want, when you want, with the people you want, for as long as you want. Even your children care very little about the toys or gadgets your money can buy them. What they actually want is you and your undivided, unstructured time. Mastering the psychology of money means letting go of the need to purchase status and learning to use your wealth as a tool to buy your independence.